Have you ever stopped to think that the rice you eat, maybe even daily, could be quietly messing with your blood sugar and, well, your gut health, especially as you get a bit older? It's kind of a surprising thought, right? Because rice is just so familiar, so comforting, a staple food for so many of us. But what if I told you there are simple, scientifically proven ways to change that? To turn rice from maybe a blood sugar saboteur into something genuinely good for you. Gut healing, sugar stabilizing, really life-giving. And that's what we're diving into today. We're talking practical methods backed by science. No weird pills, no fancy machines needed. Just small tweaks, everyday things you can do with the meals you're already making, turning that ordinary rice into something, well, extraordinary.
It's something we see a lot, actually. People are trying their best, following standard advice, but their blood sugar keeps creeping up. That weight just won't budge. Digestion feels off. And often, the solutions we overlook are the most fundamental ones, right there in our own kitchens, like how we prepare, one of the most common foods on the planet. So today, yeah, we're looking at 5, I'd say, incredibly simple rice hacks that can make a really powerful difference to your health.
So maybe as you're listening, think about this. Have you ever felt kind of sluggish or maybe bloated after eating and just shrugged it off like, oh, I'm just getting older? We're about to explore why that might be happening and, more importantly, what you can actually do about it. Okay, so let's kick things off. Our very first rice secret. It sounds almost too simple, but it's incredibly powerful for how your body actually absorbs nutrients. We're talking about soaking your rice. I know a lot of us skip it. We think, why bother? Rice cooks okay without it. But the science here, well, it reveals something pretty remarkable.
Exactly. It's kind of a surprising truth, isn't it? Unsoaked rice can actually stop your body from getting the vital minerals it needs. You see, rice, especially in its outer layers, has this compound called phytic acid.
Phytic acid, right?
Yeah. And you can think of it like a tiny thief, really. It grabs onto essential minerals, things like calcium, zinc, iron, and basically locks them up so your body can't absorb them properly. Now, if you think about older adults, maybe already dealing with things like bone thinning or fatigue, low immunity, well, making sure you absorb those minerals becomes really, really significant.
Okay, so soaking helps get rid of this phytic acid.
It does, significantly reduces it, which means you unlock more of those essential nutrients. And there's another big plus. It makes the rice much easier to digest. So less bloating, less gas. You avoid that heavy, stuffed feeling after a meal. The rice just feels, lighter, smoother going down.
That makes so much sense. So practically speaking, how do we do it? What's the method?
Super straightforward. First, give your rice a good rinse under cool water. Get rid of any surface starch. Then just let it soak in warm water for about 30 to 60 minutes before you cook it. Honestly, even 30 minutes makes a noticeable difference. It gives the grains time to soften and start breaking down those compounds.
Okay, 30 to 60 minutes. Is there anything we need to be careful about, like soaking it for too long?
Yes, good point. A quick word of caution there. Try not to soak it for more than about 3 hours, especially if your kitchen is warm any longer than that, and you start running the risk of bacterial growth and spoilage. So keep it within that window.
Got it. I actually heard from this lovely 72-year-old woman recently. Super active, but always struggled with a really sensitive stomach after eating rice. She started the simple soaking habit just 30 minutes before cooking, and she told me within just a few weeks that discomfort she'd had for years almost completely disappeared. She called it her small miracle. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? Such a tiny change. No pills, no gadgets, just water, a bit of time, and, well, intention. Okay, building on that theme of simple kitchen tweaks, there's another common item, one you probably have right now, that could do surprising things for your blood sugar. Get ready for this one. Our next hack involves adding, believe it or not, a spoonful of vinegar to your rice. I know. Vinegar in rice. Sounds a bit weird, doesn't it?
It does sound unconventional, I'll give you that, but the science behind it is genuinely compelling. You take natural apple cider vinegar, for instance. It contains something called acetic acid, and this compound is pretty remarkable. It actually slows down how quickly your body breaks down carbohydrates and absorbs the sugar from them.
Oh.
So the result is your blood sugar doesn't spike so sharply after you eat, which is incredibly important, particularly if you're over 60 or maybe managing prediabetes or even type 2 diabetes.
Wow. Is there evidence for this? Like
Oh,
Studies?
oh, absolutely. There's powerful evidence. A study from Johns Hopkins University actually found that just adding vinegar when cooking rice lowered its glycemic index by an impressive 31%.
31%.
Yeah.
That's
It
huge.
really is. The glycemic index, tells us how fast a food raises blood sugar. So a 31% drop means a much, much gentler rise. It kind of transforms how your body reacts to the rice, making it far more balanced.
Okay, I'm sold on the science, but the taste. How do we add vinegar without making our rice taste, well, sour?
It's surprisingly subtle. When you add the water to your rice cooker or your pot, just stir in 1 tablespoon of a natural fermented vinegar. Like apple cider vinegar is a great choice. That's it. 1 tablespoon. You honestly won't get a sour taste. Many people actually say it gives the rice a slightly cleaner, maybe fresher flavor.
Okay, so natural fermented vinegar is key here, not just any vinegar.
Yes, that's a really important distinction. You want the natural fermented kind, things like synthetic white vinegar or those flavored vinegars. They won't give you the same health benefits, and honestly, they might even irritate your stomach. And another tip, if you know you have a sensitive gut, or maybe you're just trying this for the first time, perhaps start with just half a tablespoon. See how you go.
Good advice. I remember hearing from a man, he was in his late 60s, pre-diabetic, and he always felt so sluggish after meals containing rice. He started adding just that 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to the cooking water. Didn't change much else. Within a couple of months, he said his fasting blood sugar readings started to stabilize. And he just felt lighter, clear-headed, more energetic through the day. It's amazing, that kind of natural support. Right, on to our next one. And this is a really clever little secret, I think. Something most people would never even consider. Mixing just a tiny bit of oatmeal into your rice. Now, we all know oatmeal's great, right?
Yeah.
Good for the heart, cholesterol, digestion. But here's the twist. Putting just a small amount in with your rice can dramatically improve how your body handles sugar and even sort of help keep your blood vessels healthier in the long run.
The magic here, well, it lies in oatmeal's beta-glucan content. That's a type of soluble fiber.
Beta-glucan, right.
Exactly. And when you eat it, it acts almost like a gentle sponge as it moves through your digestive system. It mops up excess cholesterol, it slows down the whole digestive process, and crucially, it stops those really rapid spikes in blood sugar right after you eat. Think about seniors, maybe managing high cholesterol or prediabetes, blood pressure issues. This kind of subtle daily support can be invaluable.
And is there research on this specific mix, oatmeal and rice?
Yes, strong research. An impactful study from the NIH, the National Institutes of Health, found that mixing just a small amount of oatmeal into rice could slow down that post-meal blood sugar rise by up to 43%.
Wow, 43%. That's incredible. So, okay, what's the magic ratio here? How much oatmeal do we add to get these benefits without, turning our rice into porridge?
Haha, good question. You definitely don't want porridge. It's actually a very small amount. For about 1 standard cup of uncooked rice, which is roughly 150 grams, you only need to mix in 1 to 1.5 teaspoons of plain dry oatmeal.
Just 1.5 teaspoons.
That's it. It works out to about 5 to 7% of the total volume. It's just enough to get those beta-glucan benefits without really changing the texture or taste of the rice in a major way.
That leaves me to ask, though, if it's so good, why not just add more oatmeal?
That's a really logical question. And while oatmeal is definitely healthy, adding too much fiber at once, especially for older adults whose digestive systems might be a bit more sensitive, can sometimes backfire. It could lead to bloating, maybe some gas, or just feeling uncomfortably full. So the key really is that gentle balance, not overwhelming the system. Oh, and a quick, important health note here. If you happen to have kidney problems, it's always best practice to have a chat with your doctor before you significantly increase your intake of fiber or whole grains, just to be safe.
Makes sense. I recall a story about a woman, mid-70s, who was juggling both high cholesterol and the early stages of diabetes. She started this simple habit, just 1 teaspoon of plain oatmeal mixed into her rice each day. After about 3 months, she went for her checkup. Her lab results had noticeably improved, but more than that, she just felt better. She said she felt clearer, lighter, more confident about her health. Okay, next up, let's talk about a spice. A small golden pinch that packs some serious healing power. Turmeric. Many of us know it from curries, of course. But did you know that adding just a tiny bit to your cooked rice can actually help your body become more responsive to insulin? and it can help dial down inflammation system-wide.
Yeah, turmeric is fascinating. The key player here is curcumin. That's the main active compound in turmeric. And it's really remarkable stuff. One of its main benefits is helping improve insulin sensitivity. You can kind of think of insulin resistance like having a dull key that doesn't quite fit the lock on your cells anymore. Curcumin helps sharpen that key, metaphorically speaking.
That's a great analogy.
Thanks. And this is important because as we age, many people develop some degree of insulin resistance. The body cells just don't respond as well to insulin. And that can lead down the path to higher blood sugar, feeling tired all the time, even gaining weight. Actually, NIH research found that regular curcumin intake over a period of time reduced insulin resistance markers by about 23%, which is quite significant. It's actually comparable to the effect of some mild diabetes medication.
Wow, comparable to medication. That's impressive. Okay, so how do we add it to rice without, making everything taste intensely of curry?
It's super simple and much subtler than you'd think. After your rice is cooked, while it's still nice and warm, just sprinkle 1 or 2 small pinches of pure turmeric powder over it, then just stir it gently. The warmth actually helps release some of the natural oils and the aroma, and it blends really nicely with plain rice. I always suggest starting small, maybe just 1 pinch, especially if you're not used to the flavor.
Okay, pure turmeric powder, that's important, right?
Yeah.
Not just curry powder.
Absolutely crucial distinction. You need pure turmeric powder. Curry powder usually has turmeric in it, yes, but it also contains salt and various other spices. Those other ingredients won't give you the concentrated curcumin benefits and frankly could potentially upset your stomach if you're adding it regularly. So stick to the pure stuff. And just another quick heads up, if you have any gallbladder issues or if you're taking certain medications like blood thinners, it's definitely wise to have a quick chat with your healthcare provider before making turmeric a regular habit, just to make sure it aligns with your health picture.
Right. Always good advice to check with your doctor. I remember hearing about a woman in her late 60s managing type 2 diabetes for several years. She decided to try this, after okaying it with her doctor, of course. She didn't really change anything else, just added that tiny pinch of turmeric to her warm rice once a day. After a few months, she noticed her blood sugar readings were much more stable day to day, and she was even able to work with her doctor to slightly reduce her medication dosage. She called it her small, colorful habit, with gentle but powerful effects. All right, we've reached our final tip, and honestly, this one might be the most surprising of all, because this method doesn't involve adding anything to your rice. It's all about how you cool it and then reheat it. This simple process unlocks some really deep gut health benefits.
Oh, this is fascinating science. Truly amazing. When you cook rice and then let it cool down, the structure of the starch actually changes. It transforms into something called resistant starch.
Resistant starch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Now, unlike regular starch, which your body digests pretty quickly and turns into sugar, resistant starch does what its name suggests. It resists digestion. So instead of breaking down in your small intestine, it travels all the way down to your large intestine. And there it becomes incredibly valuable food for your beneficial gut bacteria. It's like a prebiotic.
Food for the good gut bugs. What kind of benefits does that lead to?
The benefits are actually remarkably broad. We're talking improved digestion overall, less inflammation throughout the body, potentially a stronger immune system because so much of immunity is linked to the gut. Also, significantly reduced blood sugar spikes after eating that meal, better bowel regularity, and even improved insulin sensitivity over time. So for seniors, particularly those dealing with blood sugar issues or maybe just persistent gut discomfort, bloating, constipation, this one change can offer really profound relief.
That sounds incredible. Okay, so walk us through the practical steps. How do we actually make this resistant starch happen?
It's pretty easy. Once your rice is cooked, just take the lid off the pot or cooker. Let it sit at room temperature for about 30 minutes to an hour to cool down. You can actually eat it then once it's cooled slightly. Or, for potentially maximum resistant starch formation, pop it in the fridge promptly. Then, when you're ready to eat it later that day, or maybe the next day, just reheat it gently until it's hot all the way through. Steaming or microwaving works well.
Okay, cooling, then reheating. Are there any safety things to keep in mind here, like leaving rice out?
Yes, absolutely. A crucial safety note. Firstly, make sure the rice was properly cooked in the first place. But importantly, don't leave cooked rice sitting out at room temperature for too long, especially if it's warm in your kitchen. More than a couple of hours is generally not recommended because bacteria, like Bacillus cereus, can multiply. So the best practice is cool it for that 30-60 minute window, then either eat it or get it into the refrigerator quickly. And when you store leftover rice, aim to eat it within a day or two at most.
Right, food safety first. Got it. I heard this story about a man in his 70s. He'd struggled with chronic constipation and IBS symptoms for years, tried different medications, diets. Some things helped a bit, but nothing really resolved it. He started doing this simple routine, cooking his rice, letting it cool completely, refrigerating it, and then gently reheating portions for his meals. He said within just a few weeks, his digestion completely changed. Dramatically were his words. He felt lighter, much more regular, finally felt at ease after eating. It just shows how these simple foundational changes can really impact long-standing issues.
So if we just sort of bring it all together now, what's really empowering about all this, I think, is seeing the collective impact. These 5 habits, the soaking, adding that bit of vinegar, mixing in the oatmeal, the sprinkle of turmeric, and this cooling and reheating method. Individually, each one is quite small, isn't it? But they really add up. Meal by meal, grain by grain, you're building this incredible support system for your blood sugar, for your digestion, and ultimately for your long-term vitality.
And, the absolute truth here is that it's never, ever too late to start making these kinds of positive changes. You don't have to feel overwhelmed and try to do all 5 things tomorrow. Just pick one, whichever sounds easiest or most appealing to you right now. Maybe it's the soaking. Maybe it's trying the vinegar. Start there and just notice. Pay attention to how your body feels, because often it's those small, consistent steps that lead to the biggest transformations down the road. Feeling better, moving easier, really taking back a sense of control over your meals and your health.
Exactly. Just think about that for a moment with just a little bit of awareness, a little planning. That simple bowl of rice you eat regularly can actually become one of the most nourishing, health-supportive foods on your entire plate. It's quite thought, isn't it?